Instituted. I don't see any obvious changes for the Cayman Islands at this point.
Now, I can only imagine that that is an injury-enforced substitution. Tashon has been our leading ball carrier in that half. So something must be wrong with him. He did take a knock before the end of that half, and there was a little that drinks break. He was the one being seen to. So perhaps he's taken a knock. I'll try and find out.
It's a good take by the Cayman Islands. Tom Healy.
Tom Healy underneath it. He's got all the time in the world. Timeless Tommy.
He's starting to play a little sevens, though.
This might could be in a little bit of trouble. He's well tackled there by the Caymanians. I think he's recycled it. It's going to be a pick and go by the big boys. Dustin Archibald.
I think his first thought, Tom, was to kick to the corner, and he should have done that.
Mikey Williams driven back.
That's a great drive by the Cayman number 3.
Yeah, that's the tight-headed Philip Ferry.
They got another player down. It's a very worrying time for the physio.
It's a high tackle, isn't it, referee?
He ducked in that tackle a bit.
I know that Tom Greenslade's only about 5'2" tall.
I think
but still.
Karen's doing a good job.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my goodness, great.
Looking horrible.
Two passes to nothing. We've actually recovered.
Taken,
no, we passed that back inside, but are they going to... was there a tackle completed? Maybe there was. There was a tackle.
I think, well, it was just shambolic.
We did throw that ball back into our own 22 and then cleared it, but they might have said there was a contact.
If you're watching, kids, erase that last 30 seconds of rugby. Pretty horrible stuff.
We got a couple of comments on the internet feed, like Cayman Beast. He says, if you hate Bermuda rugby, reply to this. They're an interesting bunch in the Cayman. I remember last year they called me and at home from the TV station, or the radio station. And as soon as I answered the phone, they said, we're going to kick your, you know what.
Nice,
and then hung up. I guess it was live on radio. At least they have a sense of humor.
You need to change your number. A bit of rivalry. Bermuda Cayman rivalry. They, of course, won this fixture last year down in Cayman, so they've got the upper hand at the moment. Prior to that, we enjoyed a couple of wins against them. And this one's still fairly evenly matched. 7-3 down, Bermuda at the moment. It's an untidy scrum.
Yeah, it's not steady. Pushing before the balls come in. The referee's being kind there. She might award a penalty or free kick.
Yeah, Adam Richards for Bermuda has come into the scrum at second row, and he's not quite as dynamic a ball carrier as Tashon De Silva, but he is a decent rugby player. He's had a good season for Police RFC, and deserving of his spot in this game today. But I think they will miss Tashon's ball carrying.
Good scrum by Cayman Islands. Gone down on the
near
side. Clearing kick.
Not a very good kick into Josh Clark's hands, and he's put in a reasonable kick. Rich Cumbers underneath that, so is Dan Cole. Poor communication again. And Cumbers a bit slow. Ooh, he's just about done okay there. Josh Clark tackles and releases, but does he get onside? I don't know.
I think Cayman have won this
ball.
ball
as well. That was poor by Dan Cole and Rich Cumbers. Just poor communications. Let them down once again. Inside centre, had to check himself there, Adam Keenan. Took it in alone, but it looks like they recycled it. Keswick right, the try scorer becomes scrum half.
Great hit.
Cumbers makes a nice tackle, comes off his wing and hits his man. Makes up for that early miss-up.
But it wasn't, it went backwards. Cayman driving to the line.
Bermuda have to defend this now. They go right, but they go into the sizable frame of Dave Rourke.
It's good defence.
Pushing him out wide.
Nice blue wall there.
Now let's see. Duplessis, that's loose. Oh!
Knock on by Bermuda.
Neville Zool almost off to the races with the intercept. Long floated pass by Duplessis.
It was a very risky pass. There was only one man outside, 2 men outside, and 3 or 4 Bermuda players.
Yeah, it was, well, I think they lost their inside centre, Adam Keenan, to that previous ruck, and they threw the wide pass without really realising that they were the ones outnumbered.
You know, some of the decisions we've been seeing today by these two teams are very surprising. But, you know, Bermuda doesn't get to play very many matches, right? Once the season's over, there's a lot of training. But you would expect these players from both teams to have better decision making at this point in the Caribbean Championship. I mean,
Yeah, in fairness to Cayman, it is their first game in the Caribbean
true.
Championship, but they did have a warm-up game against Bahamas. Bermuda, this is their second game in the championships, but they played Mexico earlier in the month.
Right.
So that was their warm-up game. But you're right, I mean, it's just... there was some untidy play. That's a forward pass.
Forward pass again. The timing just seems to be off for both teams. It's almost like they're rushing the attack. The composure is just not there today. The players are just overrunning the ball.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me a little bit of last year's the game last year, which, you know, there wasn't very many points scored. It was stop, start, back and forth. Maybe it's just how these two teams match up and the styles of play.
So Phil Hall needs to clear the lines here. That's an untidy
That
scrum.
ball came out of the side of the scrum, but play on. The referee can see that.
Yeah, Richard Lewis has made good work of that. Captain for Cayman.
There's a big overlap on the right-hand side if they got that ball up. 4-on-2. Okay, yeah. Bermuda's recovered.
Now it's coming left. No, but they've gone right. That was a poor decision by the scrum half. He didn't get the call, but Keswick Wright's making some ground up, coming right back towards him.
Big Dave working there. Still won the ball. There's only 3 out wide for 5 against Bermuda. This seemed to be a lot of numbers. A lot of Cayman people getting...
Oh, Duplessis made some space, but then throws a shocker. He's had nice footwork by the fly half, and then he throws a poor one to Josh Clark's feet. Nothing Josh could do about that.
two Cayman players hobbling around. They're struggling to keep players on the pitch. Got one Bermuda guy down.
Yeah, Philip Faris took a bit of stinger to his right shoulder, it looks like. And Keswick Wright is hobbling around on the right wing. And I think Neville Zool is also down on the right, on Bermuda's right wing. And it's not Neville, he stood there watching.
I think it's Bennett.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Field, I had a chat with him at the halftime. He was doing running commentary on the sideline during the game, telling people where the space was. I said, Sean, for an international, you have to, you can't be, commentating during the game. So I think he put his tail between his legs a bit and apologized. Yeah, I think he's had a few
Magnus.
A few Magnus have gone in.
So let's see whether Bermuda can make the scrum as suddenly under a bit of pressure, and I'm not blaming the replacement Adam Richards, but that's
they called Cayman prop for boring in there. He's complaining that the Bermuda prop was pulling him down. It's always difficult for a referee to figure out those situations, right? Unless you actually played prop. I think they're the only ones who really know what's going on in the scrums.
True. Do you think she's played prop? Be careful how you answer that.
I think she played number 2.
Ooh, I know where you're going with that.
Her husband's here today, and interesting thing, he reffed Bermuda back in many years ago when Kieran Peacock was coach.
Oh,
so
right.
they're the first husband and wife team that have reffed Bermuda.
Yeah, there you go.
Pretty interesting. Well, maybe not for some.
Yeah, interesting if you're a ref, I suppose. You being an ex-ref, Keith, I'll let you talk about highlights of refereeing.
Oh my
Phil.
goodness.
Oh. Hits Phil in the breadbasket, and
don't really know what to say.
Touch judge
down.
Norman Linus
Come on,
has seen
Phil.
something.
Sure.
He's put
Imagine
his
it
hands
was a
out, and the
donut.
referees will confirm.
Poor old Phil. Is not the typical size of a fly half.
We
Looks
brought
like
him in for his handling ability.
Oh dear, never mind, Phil. We've all been there. Phil looks like he's eaten a few fly halves in his time. He's having a word with his halfback partner. Come on, Tom. Don't pass it right to me.
Yeah, don't hit my hands, please.
Oh, Phil, when you watch this back later on, I know you'll be looking for me.
Norman obviously
hardly
saw
want to talk
a
myself.
infringement in the line out there.
So the
Referee's
referee's
given a yellow
carding.
card.
the second row, Dan Bond. I'm
important
not quite
point
sure
in
what
the
ball. I
game.
think it might have been from Mouth. I don't know.
No, there must have been something that went on that we didn't see. Well, clearly, because we had no idea a card was being issued.
We're there teasing.
The referee indicating
Reinhardt.
pulling down.
Of course, Phil Hall will say
in
that
this
he knew that was
line
going to
out.
happen all the time, and he dropped
Very
it
dangerous
deliberately.
offence. And it suitably
Oh,
shorts
that's
yellow
a terrible
card.
kick by Dan Cole.
What did she say?
And that's not a very good take by Richard Lewis. Some pretty average rugby on display right now. Dan Cole failing to make touch by 15 yards.
No, again, a
And
ball
then
goes
watching
to
the ball bounce between them. Tommy Healy making a mess of that. Luckily cleans up, but Dan Cole in a lot of trouble now.
I think they got the wrong sport today. It's basketball. Let the ball bounce.
I don't know. Tom Healy, with all his experience, shouldn't be letting that happen. And Dan Cole at fullback, decent player that he is, shouldn't be letting that happen either.
Cayman down by one man, but they've got the ball. Knocked it on, so it'll be a scrum to Bermuda. But, you know, if I was Cayman team, and clearly I'm not sure this was a game plan before they came here, but
Having seen how we've dealt with our kicks.
I would kick every time.
Kick, yeah.
I mean, it's not exciting for the spectators. The score at the moment is still 7-3 to the Cayman team.
Here got Mikey Williams is coming off.
Substitution, Mikey
Darren
Williams out. And Darren Williams on.
Is coming back in, which means that Tom Greenslade will go
Thomas
to hooker.
Greenslade sliding into his usual position of hooker.
Darren Richardson, a good, strong ball carrier.
He's the player I like to see out there.
Well, he's great with the ball in hands. He's
Bermuda 3, Cayman 7.
not the most defensive of players, but he's quite the weaponry in offense.
Okay, that's a good scrum.
Right, they don't want to take it out of this. They've taken it out of the 22, pretty close. Oh, that's pretty average.
Oh, there's no one back there. Bounce again.
Jeez. The wind's not that strong, I don't think, but that's a
Score 7-3.
pretty poor
Caymans
kick.
have
So here we
one
are in the
man
second
in the
half.
sin bin.
I'd like to thank BSN again for the live feed and the camera coverage. Channel 82 on Bermuda Cablevision.
Okay, coming in at fly half Cayman is young Morgan. What's his last name? Haywood.
Morgan Haywood. He's a fantastic player.
Yeah,
I've
they've-
watched him come up through the ranks.
They've shipped him in from school over in the UK.
It's interesting. We'll talk a bit about that in a few seconds. 'Cause
I quite like playing against him because he was even smaller than me.
Yeah,
But he was also about
he's also got
25
muscles.
years younger than me and very good, yeah.
He's got some muscles now. So you would be in
Has
trouble.
he?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not playing then.
They were saying that they've got a lot of these young players away in university, but because they can't train with the squad, he doesn't make the bench, the starting squad. He automatically goes on the bench.
Right.
It's
Well,
the same thing with us.
That's fair enough, isn't it?
We have an issue with we get lots of kids trained up, and then we lose them for 4 to 5 years, and we hope they return and get back on the team.
Yeah, no, I've been quite impressed with Morgan Hayward in the past. He came here, I think, for his first camp 3 years ago, and we went after him because we realised he was like 12 years old.
Yeah,
and we roughed him up a little bit, but his composure that day was really quite impressive. We hit him late and we, roughed him up, but didn't seem phased by it. And clearly the Cayman boys
And
respect him
Bermuda
as
clear their
one for
line.
the future, and maybe that future is now.
Good
Maybe
pressure
he's,
here
as you
by
say, he's grown
Caymans.
into
One
himself
man
a little
down.
bit more
Score
solid.
7-3.
Well, we'll take a look at that matchup. You got Phil Hall up against Morgan, and I know Morgan can dance around him if he wants to.
Well, he
So
better, because otherwise Phil might get hungry and just eat him or something.
Let's see what the fitness level's like here.
Caymans line out.
Put some pressure on him.
Cayman ball. What's that, number 20? Is that a change? Recent change?
Yeah, 22 is Kume Parker. Unusual name. I think he's been out of the game for a little bit and come back into the fold by all accounts. Oh, that's a... There
Knock
we
on
are, just
there.
picking him up. And his
Yeah.
first touch of the
Referee
ball.
calling it.
Definitely put the voodoo on him. didn't we?
Bermuda's pressure's paying off. Scrum down on the halfway line.
It's got to be the boots.
I know,
Bermuda's down 7-3. Caymans are playing with 14 men. One man in the sin bin.
Yeah, they are pretty ugly boots, it has to be said. Bermuda scrum under a bit of pressure this half.
Yeah. Pete Dunkley well met at the back there by the Cayman player. Dave Rourke, Dustin Archibald.
Overrunning it, that's pretty untidy. I don't really quite understand that.
There's about 20 players.
Made that ball even slower. Dan Cole having a game to forget right now.
Mistake there by Bermuda.
Well, safe to
Dan
say that
Cole.
the other Caribbean countries watching this game today are probably not so worried about the next round unless we see some major improvement in the play.
It's a shame because Dan Cole has
Scrum
been
down, Cayman
the
ball.
standout player of the
The
season up
wind
here
at
in
their
Bermuda
back, leading
this
7-3.
past year. He was player of the year, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was player.
Yeah, he was player of the year up here, and he would have got my vote if I was allowed to vote. And just letting the ball bounce too much today. And that pass wasn't fantastic during that time, but he will be disappointed. He would have expected that one to stick. I imagine that he's got some family back home watching it as well. Comes from the Belize. So if you're watching it, the Cole family,
Just
you're
once
supporting
again,
him.
while we have a break in play, we're going to thank some of the Cayman sponsors and then go through ours. We'd like to thank Cayman sponsors Rollison and Hunter, Fidelity, and Lobster Pot for helping Cayman come over to Bermuda and compete in this Caribbean Championship. There you go, Grizz. Another plug for you. And again, we have to thank Amlin. They're a big sponsor of our men's national team and our under-19. Aspen, Validus, KPMG, Burroughs, Lightbourne, Goslings, Digicel, Belco. They all contribute to Bermuda Rugby. Or contribute. Which one is it?
Yeah, I don't know. So the Cayman scrum holding pretty strong. Oh, they're going backwards now, but they are a man down in that scrum, remember, with Dan Bond still in the bin.
No, this would be a counter ruck here. Good counter ruck by Bermuda.
That is a good counter ruck.
Bermuda turning the ball over.
Let's see.
Box kick.
We actually had knocked on by Bermuda into the hands of Cayman. I think she's playing advantage. Nope, she's just letting play continue.
Wasn't the best of box kicks from
and there's a kick.
Tommy.
Not a bad kick by Morgan.
Come on, Dan. Dan. Dan gets out of jail by Keswick Wright's follow-up.
And that's a knock on by
Volleyball
Cayman.
spike, but that
Very
was
good kick there, using the wind with
Dan, you
their
need to get a grip, mate.
at the back.
One of our best players.
What was the call?
I'm not quite sure, but he's getting a nice little hug from Darren Richardson. Not 10.
Well, she must have called
And
a penalty.
there's
for
a penalty
offside.
there for not being 10.
Oh, they weren't in. They didn't get out of the 10 from the kick. So when he kicked the ball, they have to retire 10 yards, 10 meters.
And
that
Cayman's
was the call there.
opt for the
Fair
corner.
enough. It would help if Dan kicked it
Attacking
more.
line
If he
out,
kicked it more than
Cayman's
one, they
leading
did. He
7-3.
actually penalized himself for not getting out of the 10.
With about 15 minutes into the second half now.
So that was a good call from Karen Lazada. I didn't pick that up at all. That's
Nice little peel line. They've scored.
And a
try.
well
Good try by
worked
the
line
Cayman
out by
Islands.
Caymans.
Johannes
Backman
Regnard
peeling around the front. And he
the
drives
front
into the
peel.
corner. And that's a great try for Caymans.
Over he goes.
Leading now
Tom Greenslade not able to
12-3.
Hold off the big
To
man.
score a try with a man
Miles
down
over.
sends a message.
Leslie's going to add the extras.
Well, that was a nice set piece, Chris. We weren't really paying attention, but I think we created that try, didn't we?
Oh, completely. The last 10 minutes of
Difficult
Bermuda play has been really
sideline conversion
average,
to come here.
unfortunately. And of course, it's
Cayman
easy to
now
say that
have
when you're up here in
a
the
12-3
commentary box and,
lead.
when you
And Pete Dunkley having some words with the referee, but there's not much he can really be complaining about, I don't think. Let's see if Bermuda can pick up the pace here.
Dan Cole takes one off his shin into the midfield.
That was taken back
It
in, so
was.
he's got to keep it in play. Tommy,
Morgan
Might
over,
let
that's
that
going to
run
go all
straight
the
out.
way. Oh.
And that's gone out the back.
Tom Healy trying to, it was lucky bounce at the end there for Morgan, but he'd say probably not so lucky.
22 kick,
40
drop
yards
kick
further
for
than he
Bermuda
wanted. Good to
restart.
go. So 22 for Bermuda, Tom Healy. I'm not sure. We don't have a running clock here, unfortunately, up in the commentary box, and our field clock isn't working. So some of the technical difficulties
are catching up with us. But I would estimate we have what, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
20 minutes to play.
Bermuda 12-3 down. Morgan Hayward.
And he's probably just going to play the percentage rugby. That's
nice.
great piece of play by Cayman.
Right in some space.
Nice ball back inside.
Hayward gets the ball back.
That's good tackle.
Stopped a yard
Bermuda's
from the line.
got to roll away.
This could be game over if Cayman score here.
That's good defense. But Morgan Hayward setting up that play very nicely. And that's what we thought he would do when he came on.
Oh, Duplessis juggles a little bit. Keswick right. Yeah, it was not.
And that's
crossing.
crossing there. The referee deeming that a penalty. Bermuda up against it here.
Yeah, he's just moved. I think he just moved one out.
Yeah,
it's a very
great play. Morgan
just counterattack.
He saw the space. He drew the player. I think he gave it to.
He gave it to Duplessis.
And then who gave it to the winger, who came on a great line.
And Phil,
one of the nicest pieces
kicks
of play
for touch, making good ground, relieving some of the pressure.
They definitely deserve to try. Bermuda did well to recover.
12-3 down.
Keep them out
about
of
25 minutes gone into
putting on more points.
The second half.
So it's still 12-3. Bermuda ball at about on the 10-yard line.
There's been very little go forward from the Bermuda team this half, and
no, Cayman are up on points, and they're just going to keep Bermuda pinned down in their half, I think. Let's see what we've got. Now we're kicking away possession outside
the
out
on the
22, so it's
nothing going Bermuda's way at the moment.
Unfortunately, Tommy Healy, that just adds to our catalogue of poor kicking today. I think it's time to let it rip, and I think you might need to see some changes. We might need someone like Corey Boyce to come on, one of our superstar athletes. Not the most knowledgeable rugby player, but he can run 90 yards and score some individual stuff.
That's a good low overthrow by Cayman there. So Bermuda's got some possession. The referee stopped play.
What's that for?
I think there was a knock on by Cayman in the line out. And I thought Bermuda had advantage, but I don't think we had clear possession. It looks like Bermuda run out of ideas after a few phases of play. You know, we're doing a lot of these kicks away downfield with no chasers.
I don't think we've had any phases, to be honest.
That's true.
We've got to build some momentum here.
That's a good scrum by Cayman. They're really actually starting to put the pressure on.
Tommy Healy finds a little bit of space.
Give the ball back inside.
Runs over Morgan Hayward.
Okay, there's space. Oh, there's space out to the left as well. A little Darren
12-3
enforcement in
for Cayman.
Yeah.
The
Morgan Hayward take a little knock there. I think Tommy Healy tried to run over him.
There's a good run, but he had Neville running off the inside of him.
Now.
Again,
Dustin Archibald coming on. Yeah, and Sedano coming on in the front row.
Jahan, what's his last name? Sahidio? I've never been able to pronounce his last name.
No, we just call him Jahan.
Yeah, he's come on at prop for Dustin Archibald. Dustin's done a good job at the coalface. Jahan, not a great scrummager, but like Darren, ball in hand is a force to be reckoned with, and I think it probably is about time that he came on. We've got to just get the ball in our hands and see what happens.
The ball came straight out of the tunnel, so it's going to be a reset.
Okay, nothing happening there. Blow it up, ref.
Yeah, Norman's trying to tell her that they came straight out of the tunnel, but he's having some
knock on there, spotted by
it's a reset scrum, Bermuda ball.
Referee and assistant. Scrum down,
The
blue ball.
radios are interesting because you
Bermuda
push them
needing
and
some
let them go to actually talk.
impetus here.
But we're not used to it, so what we do is we hold down the button,
in the second half,
which just sends this huge signal into interference into the referee's earpiece.
Bermuda looking at
not very clever, let's face facts.
The wrong side of the 20-minute mark.
Norman,
all of them.
Down 12-3.
three blind mice.
Blind mice.
Little technical issue here with the mics.
No comment.
Wow. I don't know what Norman's doing to the referee right now.
I actually
That's,
have to, interesting enough, I have to ref the women's game right after this at 6 o'clock. Bermuda women are taking on New York, a team from New York. It's one of the first women's games we've had in Bermuda for a number of years.
Is it a 15s game?
No, it's 7-a-side.
Okay.
I could not ref a 15s game. Too much time involved.
Some would say you couldn't referee a 7s game either, but let's not go there.
Hopefully I can keep up with some of these ladies.
I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're implying.
All right. Back onto it. Scrum down Bermuda
Just
ball.
a reminder to Cayman viewers, if you hang around for a couple
Less than
hours,
20 minutes
we
left in
will
the
be
game.
live
Down
streaming the
12-3.
match.
Bermuda
And we may have
need
Julian
something to
Salvi.
happen
is that
soon.
right? Salvi,
Yeah,
who
Salvi,
might be coming into, and who's the New Zealand player for Leicester? The other one, who's here, plays number 8. Waldron, Thomas Waldron.
Thomas Waldron.
They'll
He's
be
English.
fit.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
He might have been born and raised in New Zealand, but he's got caps for England. Of course, he's as English as...
but they're going to be the commentators. To help
And
us
that
with
was
that match.
snaffled in the
that would
tackle
be good.
by
That'd be fantastic.
Caymans.
Probably considerably better than we are. Oh, the big man puts it
Yeah,
down.
but-
Going
went
backwards.
backwards.
Referee saying that went backwards.
Kind of. I'd give it to him.
Oh,
Cayman making some ground here.
This is where I was talking about the fitness training and their professional trainer that they have now. I wonder if that's going to give them a bit of an advantage in these last 20 minutes. Let's just see how the Bermuda boys recover from this. Good counter ruck. Jeez, look at the bodies all over the place. 12-person ruck. No, not quite.
Yeah, Adam Richards comes through that ruck and snags the scrum half. It's just a big
Fierce
melee down there right
competing
now.
at the breakdown there.
Not quite the same as
Bermuda
the
showing some heart.
Saturday and Sunday Premiership games I watch.
Scrum down, Cayman ball attacking.
Okay. We can laugh now because we're no longer involved, right, Chris? But I'm sure we had our days when things just didn't go quite right.
Oh yeah, more than the good days, unfortunately.
I remember the
No, you
Chile
don't.
match.
If you've got to hold the ball, people hold the ball.
And they pushed us so far back over the scrum. I was playing fly half, but I went out of the dead ball area and took the catch. First play of the game.
Nice.
You've never seen a scrum go backwards so fast. Anyway, here we go. Cayman scrum. Good backline formation. Let's see if they got a nice back move. Okay, the number 8. I think Dunkley might get a piece of this. Yep, holding on. Good call. Now they do need to move here. This is where Tom Healy can be very dangerous. We need to get this ball moving. It's a bit of a slow ball again from the breakdown. Here's Darren.
Yeah.
Good defense though by Cayman. You got Big Johan lined up out there for a rumble. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, we need to get the ball in his hands.
Here
Come
he
on.
goes.
Let's have a go. Let's go, big man.
Yeah, no, good defense, great tackle. They've seen the highlight videos of him.
Let's go, Tom. Yeah, you got numbers outside yet? Let's go. It's a great tackle by Morgan Hayward.
No, he released. Oh, she said the Bermuda player came from into the side. But I thought Tommy got up and picked that up, so. It wasn't you, Tommy. It was side entry by your supporting player. Again, she didn't have the angle to see Tommy coming up. All she could see was that Bermuda player entering what wasn't even a ruck yet, right? It was just, he was.
I don't like how you're making excuses for the referee, Keith.
I know.
You need to get that out of your system right away. We are a one-eyed, non-neutral commentary team here. Remember that. Okay, the big number 20.
We got a.
Mark Soto's
We would
coming
like
back on.
We've got a note from the Cayman. Please keep the camera on the blonde. Not sure which blonde they're asking.
Are you
us.
talking about Josh Clark? I know you like him, but that's a bit ridiculous. Nice little driving maul here by Cayman.
Yep, they're doing well.
Come on, Bermuda. We're running out of ideas a little bit here.
That's a good. Good bit of play. Bermuda, looks like Dave Rourke's got himself in the middle of that scrum. Collapsing them all. It's going to be a penalty here to the Cayman. They have an advantage.
Oh, not a very nice pass. Oh, nice little work move, but no space there for Josh.
I'm sure Morgan was very pleased with that pass from the scrum half.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's
There's
a
one
slightly better one. There's a bit of space there, but Cumbers underneath it. Did you call Mark?
But there's a penalty advantage. They'll be coming back. And this is a kickable penalty. Then I'm sure they'll go for the points.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Tommy Healy is limping around in backfield as well, which is not good.
yeah, the way this is heading, Chris, is that if we lose this game today, we have to go into a playoff for relegation. And I know the boys were not excited about having another round of Caribbean Championships because it does cost them time and the money, and these are not professional rugby players. They have to put a lot of extra time in their own hours to prepare for these games.
Yeah, at least though the playoff game would be up here.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That is correct, as we are at the higher seed. But yes, it'd be 3 more weeks onto their season, which has been pretty long already. Of course, they wouldn't mind it if we were winning and they were on the way to the Caribbean Championship to lift the trophy. But yeah, a defeat. It would seem like a long couple of weeks training for that.
It's a nice strike.
Strokes that over.
That's good. That's 3 points. 15-3 to Cayman. We're guessing about 10 minutes to go.
Stretching out and long comes
And that
17,
takes the
front
score
rower,
to
Peter DeVere.
15-3.
Another one of these South African imports
Less
they've got.
than
came
10
home.
minutes to go.
So
Things are not
Also
looking
number 22
good
is
for
coming off
Bermuda.
the field. And
They're
number
spending
18
most of the
Bermuda,
game
Paul,
in the
that's Gule Parker.
opposition
He's
second
replaced
half.
try
And we have a
scorer
change
Keswick
here.
Wright.
Paul Canefield coming on for Dave Rourke.
Keswick's been one of their star performers for the Cayman. Off he comes. Been limping from the first few minutes.
anyway,
Rich Cumbers is on for Bermuda as well. I see they made a change in the back row.
so it's definitely a 2-try game. The upper hand is definitely with Cayman right now. Nice little push through
That's
by
a dangerous
Morgan.
kick through
Paul
by
Took the hit, but that was
Caymans.
a good play. They get the line out
Richard
on the
Cumbers
half.
knocks it into touch.
Very, very clever kick.
Yeah, Rich Cumbers didn't have much to do there. He couldn't have. Personally, I would have liked to have seen him leave it go out, but we can't tell from here how much space he had or how much time he had. Cayman definitely on top this second half.
Scores 15-3 with about 8 minutes left in the game. 15-3 to Caymans.
Changes to be made in the Bermuda pack. I'm trying to see who's gone off. Oh, I think Dave Rourke might have gone off.
Yeah, Dave
Paul-
Rourke went off. Paul Canfield came on.
Okay.
Paul Canfield, our CrossFit specialist, by far the fittest guy on that team. I think Tank would give him a run for his money, I think. But
Oh, look at this. This is a good driving more by the Cayman boys.
they're looking good right now. They've really taken control of this game. They're beating us at the game that we're good at. The rolling mole, and that's a penalty, another penalty.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Morgan's going to go and try and slot this over. I'm sure Grizz is rubbing his hands together. Thank goodness I didn't bet him when we were in Paraguay. I do have some nightmares about rooming with him. I won't share those stories.
No, definitely not.
Just wish he wore pajamas to bed. That would be nice.
Now I do, yeah.
Morgan's going to stretch this out here, and if nothing else, he's going to take a few minutes off the clock. Cayman in control right now.
Well, they're going to enjoy their evening. I know it was one of our strategies was to surprise them a bit with the Saracens game and maybe try and throw them off a little. It doesn't seem to have worked all that well.
No, it's been a much better second half by
That's
Cayman.
a great kick. And that's why, I really rate that
Ladies and
player. And
gentlemen,
he's come on,
thank you for coming.
he's had some really
Please
clever play,
drive
hasn't he? And he's really opened up the Bermuda defense. And I'm glad to see a youngster like him out there controlling the Cayman side.
Yeah, he's a fast player, no doubt about it. his first touch was one to get, but ever since that he's been controlling his nicely. But Bermuda are architects of their own downfall a little bit. They've
Nice take.
haven't performed very well, especially back three, as you mentioned. Dealing with the kicks. There's another one. Let's see what happens here.
Look
gives
at,
us space.
he's the only person there. Oh, it's a knock on, unfortunately. But where was the back three?
Let's go, Dan. Come on, redeem yourself, mate. Oh, unlucky.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's absolutely acres of space. Duplessis probably didn't realise how much time he had there. He could have caught that ball,
Yep.
you know,
He could have
caught it and stopped like
Yeah.
an up and under type thing, and then set off again. No one within metres of him. Just fortunate for that knock on by Duplessis in a rare attacking position for Bermuda. Pete Dunkley gets up well.
Scores 18-3 for the Cayman Islands.
Paul Davis finally gets his hands on
Now
it.
that's a nice bit of play. Now give it.
Let's go, Neville. Let's have a little go. He's got some gas, but no space.
Out of bounds. Foot out. Good coverage by the Cayman team.
Yeah. It's nice to see.
5 minutes
actually
left
try
in the
something
game.
there.
Bermuda
Set
down
move, little wraparound.
18-3.
I'd like to see the ball in
This is
Tom
a rare
Edwards
foray
and, Paul
into the
Davis's
Cayman's
hands a bit
half.
more and for longer.
In actual fact,
You
I
know.
think it's the first
We've got to
time
punch it
they've
up.
been
We've got
into
to
the Cayman's
get
half.
over the gain line before we look out wide. Otherwise, they're just going to shift it. Their defence is going to shift just like it did just then. Give Neville and Cumbers no space at all.
The interesting thing from our perspective is one of our best players, one of our most lethal up-and-coming players, is playing in the Barbarians match and not for Bermuda because he doesn't make training. That's Andre, right? We all know about Andre. I mean, he would make a huge difference if he was out on that team. We have to figure out how to get him to trainings, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's untidy in the backs.
Knock on by Bermuda. Scrum down Cayman.
I'll tell you, the forwards are going to be a little bit peeved with their back line, I think, today.
They love scrummaging. Why do you want to be a prop? You don't want to throw the ball around all day, don't you? No, there has been quite a few scrums.
And in the second half in particular, the Cayman have had dominance here.
We're bringing on some subs. I think Bermuda are conceding really now. They're bringing on their subs and.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, let's do justice. Let's not.
Well, you bring it. You know.
Barnsley. Okay, you lost. You changed in the fly half. Barnsley's coming on. Patrick's coming on in the centre. Paddy Graham. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Well, Chris, it's not our finest hour, but we are in a. You know, we have admitted we are in a bit of a rebuilding stage, right? We've got the youngsters coming up, and I think we have to now spend the next 3 or 4 years grooming those youngsters for the future. We need our national team to be an average age of 23, 24, with a couple of old heads thrown in,
Yeah,
like
true.
the Chile team, and we have time to rebuild. We definitely have the youngsters to do it. If you look at the quality we have at the under 16 and under 19 level.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, people like people who've been the spine of our team for a number of years. People like Pete Dunkley and Tommy Healy are coming towards the end of their careers. Tommy Edwards has still got some years in him, as has Tom Greenslade. But you're right, we do need to start blooding some of our young boys. But they also have to show the commitment and get themselves to training. You know, it's not. You can't be blaming Coach Van der Westhuizen for this.
No, not at all. No, he's actually worked tirelessly to try and get these boys down to training. I must admit, he's done a great job.
Tommy Edwards flies up and tries to put some pressure on Morgan Hayward. That ball looks like it's slipped out of there, but nicely cleaned up. I think we counter-rucked it.
Yeah.
Oh no! Tommy Edwards put his hands on it, I think.
Well, he's had his hands in, but then he released and then he went back in for a second time. And then he went off his feet. So it's a fair call.
And this one to put the game out of sight, if it wasn't already.
So it's 18-3 to Cayman Islands. Congratulations. That's 18, I believe.
Is it 18 now?
18-3? Or is it?
Or is it 15-3?
No, it's 18.
We should be writing this down, really.
I know.
If we were a professional outfit, we'd be writing this down, but
Clearly not. We need the commentary team from the Cayman Islands. But at least there's been no sexist remarks and talking about overweight women and all the other things that those guys talk about.
Well, let's wait until the women's game.
Oh shit, that's right. Oh, I know they got in trouble. Actually, it's quite funny. They are probably one of the most entertaining commentary teams I've ever heard. But not everybody appreciates their humor.
Morgan Hayward stops over the points.
Yeah, good.
Stretches it out to either 18 or 21. We'll get an update as to exactly what the score is. Doesn't help when the commentators don't know. Keith's going next door to check with the actual reporters who are paid to do this, not a couple of idiots like ourselves.
And that takes the
Okay,
score
it is 21 to 3. It's been confirmed by Tom with half a brain cell.
Seconds away.
We can't count and we can't catch.
Or kick. Or tackle.
Chris, we're not going to be very. I'm not popular at the best of times.
Actually, you're not popular. What am I doing sitting next to you? Comments like mine don't help either, though.
Now I have to get prepared to ref a women's game in 19 minutes.
You better put those 3 beers down.
And that's a late yellow card to Paul Canfield.
So,
did Paul Canfield
competing at the breakdown,
get sin binned?
showing a never say die attitude. The Cayman's walking
for?
away
Those
with this game
boots?
now.
Yeah, for
Well
orange
controlled.
boots.
The final
Those
whistle
orange
to
boots.
count,
And the matching
21-3
ginger hair.
up.
Oh dear. Canners. Yeah, he's going to sit on the naughty boy seat.
He's got gingivitis. It's an awful disease.
Oh dear. So it just gets worse for Bermuda. Not quite sure what that is for. If it is for his boots, it's a bit unfair. Morgan and Kume have got orange boots too. I've sin bin them in a heartbeat.
Well, it's hard to say. Like, I kind of feel like Bermuda beat themselves a bit. But Cayman have played well in the second half. But you think if when Bermuda looks back at this, did Cayman just outplay them? Or did Bermuda just give them a lot of possession that they didn't earn? You know,
Yeah, I think that
Morgan is just running the show right now. That's a beautiful kick to the corner. I mean, I still think that boy should start the game for them. He's such a good number 10. No disrespect to Duplessis, but when you see a young player like that, look at the pressure he's put Bermuda on. They've won the ball now. Let's see what he does. Look at the space out wide. He's got a big prop outside on his right shoulder. He's gonna little crash ball to him. There you go. Oh, he met your hand. He's a big fella.
2 big boys meeting.
Not a lot of outnumbered by Bermuda in the. There he goes. Oh, lost forward. It jinxed him again, but I think
Cole's offside.
Bermuda was
And
offside.
that's offside there at the breakdown.
Yeah, to answer your question, Keith,
Bermuda being picked
Cayman
up.
have
Bermuda
clearly been
been 2
the best
years
team in the
trying to
second
put
half.
pressure on them.
They've dominated in the
And Cayman's in a
scrums.
position
They've,
to add further to their
dominated
lead.
possession.
At present,
And,
up
they're
21.
worthy leaders right now. Yes, Morgan has made a bit of a difference when he's come on. He's controlled the game, but Duplessis was playing well, but didn't have much ball in the first half. You're right. Bermuda have helped them out, especially. You know, the receiving of high balls has not been good. Something that's clearly.
What are your thoughts on the fitness? Is there any obvious differences between the teams right now?
No, I'm not saying there is a huge difference. I think that Cayman clearly have momentum right now, and Bermuda is simply struggling to get the hounds on ball. And I think that first phase platform has disappeared for Bermuda, where it was strong in the first half. It's disappeared in the second half, and you know, we are fully under the cosh.
Nice strike.
And that should be
24,
it, ladies and gentlemen.
Over.
Congratulations
Thank you
to Caymans for a dominating second half performance
Please,
and walking away a well-deserved
game coming up at
24-3
6 o'clock,
victors.
which is
Bermuda are going to have to regroup,
right now,
pick themselves up, and get ready for the
15 minutes away.
knockout game.
15 minutes
in the
away,
next
and then
month.
after
3
that,
weeks'
in
time,
an
I've just been
hour's
told.
you
You
will
have to play
see
a
Saracens
knockout NACRA
play the Bermuda
game,
Barbarians.
most likely against
Chris,
Mexico.
can you just call out some of the names?
Otherwise, they'll be relegated to the second
Barbarians
division of the
match.
Caribbean
Let's go to the Saracens game
Championship.
because we have 40 of the
Anyways,
top
let's give a
professionals
warm
playing on
congratulations to
Bermuda Rugby
Caymans on a
soil.
well-deserved
So, Chris will
victory.
run through